that I would be updating how my first day at the new job went. Now, I have almost a 20-year job history. So, the reason I'm saying that is because in my memory, this is the best first day I've ever had at any job. It could be because I don't remember the other good ones. It could be because those were few and far between. It could be because I didn't have a good first day experience at my last job or the job before or the job before. But for whatever reason, I think that this was the best first day that I ever had. So I'm going to start off like this. There was a quote that I reposted from Instagram. The quote was something to the effect of the same water, the same water bottle could be 50 cents at the supermarket. It could be $2 at the gym, and it could be $6 on the plane. And it's the exact same bottle, it's the exact same brand, it's the exact same packaging. The only place that changed was its location. So it was like, if they don't see your value, then maybe you're just in the wrong place. I know it's early and I don't want to get too excited too early because, I've had good situations turn bad. However, even just in the process of contacting me, the interview process, the communications that we had in between during the interview process, and my first day, the feeling of being valued, that's the thing that has been the best part of the experience so far. Another thing is, I always say, I could be the loudest person in the room or the quietest person in the room, depending on the room. I like to take inventory of everything that's going on around me, especially in new environments. I like to see who's there. I scope everything out. I pay attention to the energy in the room, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna be super quiet. You're not even gonna know that I speak. You're gonna be like, does that guy even have a voice box at that stage? So here, I walked in the building, and from the moment I walked in there, the people that greet you at the door, hey, good morning, welcome to such and such, and we're so happy that you're here. Let me direct you to where you need to go for your orientation. And then all the people that they had along the sides, same energy. It was just a really positive vibe and a really positive energy, which started out the day right for me. So I get into my orientation room. This is probably the biggest orientation that I've ever had, I guess, because my orientation for my last company was online. I didn't have to go in for that. And the previous few ones were for nonprofits. So, well, this is a nonprofit too, but I'll say smaller nonprofits for the other ones. And I don't recall, the orientations were like 15 to 20 people in the room at most, and one person in there delivering it. But this one had to be somewhere between maybe 250 to 300 people in that room. And there was about, I don't know, 8 presenters. So I saw the setup and I was already like, oh, this is about to be a long day. I'm not looking forward to this day. And I was tired, and I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to ensure that I not only got my workout in, but that I was going to be leaving in plenty of time to make sure that I was going to be there super early so I didn't have to stress about anything. So started out, just observed everything to see how it was looking, to see how it was going to go. And the speakers were excellent. I mean, orientation is orientation. It still can be boring and it's long, but the speakers were excellent because they were not just talking about, oh, we're the best company ever, the culture is amazing, this is amazing, and that is amazing. They were actually enthusiastically talking to us, giving us like almost like motivational speeches that were catered towards the company. So it's like they did have to read out the things from the pamphlet and from the PowerPoints, but they added in a personal touch with personal stories that included pictures and different things about self-worth and things about wellness. Like the topics were something that I had never even experienced at an orientation before. Now, the thing I said earlier about I could be the quietest or the loudest person in the room depending on the room, they had this cool setup at all the tables where they had a table and we would have probably maybe 8 people sitting at the table, and they had these microphones at the table. So what they wanted was interaction. They wanted it to be interactive, and my table was pretty talkative except for when they said, okay, who wants to be the representative for the table? Then everyone was quiet. But because I was enjoying myself, and because I was enjoying the colleagues that I had met, and I guess the administrators that were speaking to us, and just everything about the day, I was gladly volunteering to be the representative. I even had them laughing at times. There was this one part where they were talking about the value of smiling with your clients or patients or whatever, and what a difference that makes. They were talking about smiling and body language and actually showing up and showing them that you are interested in what they're saying, etc. And then they said, does anybody have any commentary about that? And I was like, yeah. I said something to the effect of, I was like, I have been to many orientation days, and I said, I'm not gonna lie to any of y'all, I was not necessarily looking forward to this one. But I said, when I walked in here, I said it in a funnier way, because it must have been funny because everybody laughed and actually clapped and stood up. But I basically said this one was no different in my mind. Like, I was just coming here to get this thing done, and I wasn't really looking forward to it. I had to get up early, but I said when I walked in here, the fact that all of y'all were so friendly, and everybody was smiling, everyone had a positive energy to them, made something that is usually dreadful not so bad. And I was like, because I have certainly been to plenty of orientations where the person who's actually delivering the orientation, the HR person, doesn't even seem like they want to be there. and everybody clapped and stood out of their chairs and laughed. They were like, that is so real. But the funny thing about that is, I don't feel like anything about me has been different since I entered the workforce. I feel like in my last company, I could do and say the same thing. I could make the same joke. The last company before that, same thing. I could say the same thing with the crowd that was in that room for those other companies, and they would be like, stone face, like, that's stupid. So if you're not valued or appreciated in that room, then it's quite possible that you are just in the wrong room. Don't think that it's you. And a lot of people, it might sound like common sense, but my confidence did not just come overnight. I said this before I even went in there when I did my morning live. I have been in many environments where the things that they were saying about me, the way they were reacting to me, the things that were happening to me in my job environment were deeply affecting my mental health. And I was attaching all of those things to myself. So I don't feel that the reactions that I got from from the staff and from the new hires and everything that I got today, which was so great, I don't think it was because they got some super special version of me. It's just because I happen to be in the right room. That's it. And I feel like it's the same thing with my YouTube page. Yeah, Lisa. I feel like it's the same thing that happened with my YouTube page. I mean, a lot of the things that I have been complimented for on this YouTube page, I've never heard those compliments in life. And then all of a sudden I just hopped on YouTube and started speaking, and people were like, "Where have you been?" And I'm like, well, apparently I was in the wrong spot, because that's not what I was getting from the people around me. Most of the people around me, because I definitely have to acknowledge that there are a few people in my life who have always recognized my worth. So, and some of them even watch my YouTube. So I can't say from nobody. I'm just going to say not from the majority. And that could be for a variety of reasons. But it is what it is. I had a good first day. And I tell the truth. So I even told them I didn't expect to have such a great first day. I didn't expect to enjoy an orientation day. Orientation days are not my thing. Jobs are not my thing. 9 to 5 jobs are not my thing. With that said, I do know that it's early. It's early along in the process. I still have a long way to go and a lot of things to do. But I needed the first day to be good, to give me some hope, because that's one thing that has been lost on me over the past 6 years of my work history. My last 6 years on the job have been so terrible, so depressing. The people I've dealt with have just been awful for the most part. There are some exceptions. I can think of maybe 2 great managers that I had. I had some co-workers that really resonated with me. But for the most part, the people that were in charge of my livelihood at the job, which were the managers, supervisors, etc., terrible experiences. And at my very last position, really bad experiences with my colleagues, which is rare. It happened for the first time. Like, you know, everybody has had a bad colleague or a few colleagues that you just didn't resonate with and you didn't get along. But whew, I felt like I was at the outside table. I was at the outside girls table at the last position. So that's my update. You know, the day went well, and I don't feel emotionally drained. I don't feel stressed. I just feel tired. I do think I'm gonna take a nap when I get home, because I'm on that old man status. But aside from that, you know, today was good. I feel good about today. Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to see how I feel at the end of the week, but I'm optimistic. I can't hear because I'm actually in a meeting and have you on silent. And I'm glad to see you. Have a good day. Love a good nap. Somebody was telling me they don't take daytime naps, and I was like, anytime somebody tells me that, I'm like, how do y'all survive? I mean, when I was 9 to 5 in the in the office, naps were not an option for me. But from the time that I became work from home, man, I took naps every day. That's what I looked forward to. I would work from the time I log in, which was about, I want to say 8 o'clock, until maybe 11:30, noon or something. And then I would hit that hour nap, and I would feel so amazing when I woke up. I need naps in my life. So like I said, today I was up since 5 o'clock because I wanted to make sure I'm back on a mission at the gym. I have 20 days from today is my next fitness competition, and I haven't done one in 5 months, going on 6 months. So I came to the realization, like, I don't want to go on that course and just gas out on the course. So I want to be in as good of condition as I can be by the 24th of February. And it's going to require a very, very consistent amount of dedication. I can't skip any days. I'm 4 days in so far, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 4 days into getting like an hour of cardio and eating a very strict nutrition diet. Yeah, so I'm getting my whole life in order. I'm getting my wellness in order. I'm getting my finances back in order. But also, one thing that I will say, when they talked about the job, they said statistically 15% of you will not be here through the end of this year. But then he said statistically if you last through the year, you're most likely going to stay for at least 10 years. They said they have a lot of employees, once they've reached that year mark, they last for 10 years. Y'all know that I have no goal of being in any company for 10 years, even if this company is the best company I've ever been at. And I'm not saying it is, because I don't know enough about it yet, and I don't have enough of an experience with them yet to say that it's the best company I've ever been with. But even if it is, I don't have a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year goal of staying with them. My goal is just really to shore up the things that I am doing outside of the job. And whenever it's time to go, it's going to be time to go. And I'm going to go, and I'm not going to look back. Just like I didn't look back at my last job, I don't miss it. I don't miss anything about it. I'm not going to say that there's no chance of me missing this job, because like I said, I do have to admit, the way that they have treated me so far has been above and beyond any other place that I've been at thus far in my professional career. The hiring manager had to go to bat for me to even get the position, because we had a first call. I don't think I even talked about this story on this page. We had a first call where I applied for the position. The position was a case manager position, and applied for it because I said, even though I'm not a case manager, even as a peer counselor, they're now switching up what a peer counselor has to do, and it's pretty much the same thing as case management. So when I got into the interview, I'm showing her, I'm like, these are my job responsibilities, and she said, I understand all that. However, the state actually requires you to have previously held a position by this exact title. Otherwise, we cannot hire you. So she said to me, I really like you though, so I am going to actually push your resume out to somebody else in the company, because she was like a higher up manager. And she said, I'm going to find you something in the company. So what happened was I interviewed with this other group that was within the same company, and they all were, apparently must have given me a good review. So this same person who said she couldn't give me the job circled back to me and said to me, even though you don't reach the requirements, she said, I really enjoyed our interview, and the fact you were so transparent about where you are, about what you're looking for, about your needs. She said, I found your honesty to be really refreshing. So she said, I'm going to try to get a provisional waive of this requirement for you to actually have been a case manager, if you think that you're, by putting you in this position. It is a risk because it's a tough position and you don't have the background, the experience for it. And I said, I appreciate you for that, and it will be the best. And that's all. Talk to y'all soon.